Okay, I got a call to come do a job here. We need to add some railings on the side here. And I suggested to put a railing here off the corner and then one down the wall there. But now that I'm looking at this, whoever built this did a great job up front here with the support, but where it goes to the house, it's not really tied on too well. And it's starting to sink there. I think these stairs on this side were like an afterthought, and it's sinking there, causing the stairs to tilt up. What I'm going to recommend is either redo this properly or eliminate the stairs and make a nice end railing there, or you could go right to the end and then just have the stairs come down the front. You can still have a porch that comes right to the end, but the stairs, either take them off, redo them, or add a couple more stringers, joists, make the deck go to the end and just have the stairs come down the front, or put it back the way it was and add a railing here. But I think the best way to do it would be to just put a railing there, a handrail coming down here, handrail coming down there, and take these stairs away because they're not done right. I think it's going to be, or take them out and redo it right. That's all. Okay, this is right above the front of the house. They wanted to build a railing here. Legally, it's got to be up to 4 feet if there's children living here. So my idea was to add a railing and then put like a lattice in between the railing so that that's light in, but children can't go over it, and then put a lattice in there, or like the black metal poles, dunk, 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 and then poles there, but it might make it seem like a little bit of a jail here. So what I'm going to do first is remove all this and remove this because I'm not sure where the water goes. And here, this here is rubber, so I'm not sure what, and it looks like it's not working so well. So first thing I'm going to do is peel all this up and see what's underneath it and see where the water is going or supposed to go, because if the water's just collecting here, it's just going to rot, and that's no good. Okay, well, these are, once I pulled a couple end pieces off, I was able to pull the pieces out. They're just like an insert. So I'm going to start by just cleaning all these leaves and junk out and see if there's possibly an existing drain that's just plugged and where it goes. I'm going to go underneath and look up at this too and see what I might be able to see from underneath. I thought it would just go to underneath and go directly into that drain, but I'll have to go look. Bingo! So from underneath, I found that drain there. So let's unbury everything and see what I can find and make sure it's all clean and working properly. That way it doesn't flood down here. It's a beautiful little sunroom here. And I'll show you the look from outside. Close the door so the keys don't get out. And you see where I'm working. It's right up there. And that's the hole there. I need a plug right there so the keys can't climb out, and I gotta put a 4-foot railing up there. This is just a while I'm here with my broom. This side here is all, see how the leaves are built up there? They were all along here, and even though it's got gutter guards on it, the fine silt will go into the drain and can plug it up. So while you're here with your broom, just, I mean, it takes a bit of work, but keep it cleaned off so that way your gutter guards work properly and it doesn't start, you don't start getting leaks that go into the house. Especially on these 100-year-old houses, if the water's not inside yet, you're not leaking, great idea to keep everything maintained. It's a lot cheaper than fixing it once it starts to leak. So if you just keep a broom out on the deck while you're outside enjoying the sunshine, just brush the leaves off every few weeks. Just a little tip. Same as right here. See how you got a buildup of leaves and stuff underneath there? Now that's just asking for water to hit here and start climbing up the edge here. So just brush it out. Just keep everything nice and clean when you can. Spring cleaning. This is what it looked like beforehand. This is why I'm not a big fan of painting decks. It's because the deck paint starts to peel like this, and then the water gets trapped behind it, or the dirt gets trapped behind it. And I believe these are treated anyways. So, I mean, if you wanted to add some color, put some stain on, wipe it off. That way it's not going to peel off. It soaks into the wood. Just like this. The paint peels off. Unless you're going to redo it all the time, the water gets in and it doesn't get a chance to dry properly, and then it starts rotting even quicker. But this is what it looked like before. I believe there's a drain right around here somewhere, so let's uncover that and see what's going on. Okay, here I know I'm blabbing, but see this? When you collect all the stuff down here, then stuff starts to sprout. And once the roots start to come out, roots are very strong. You'd be surprised how strong roots are. They find a way. And then they start popping holes through the membrane. Then you start getting leaks. So it'd be another good reason to keep this clean underneath, so you don't start growing stuff. And the roots start popping through your roof or your ceiling or your floor or your deck or whatever you want to, wherever they land. Same with the dirt and the gutters. I've seen stuff growing in gutters from the trees. Another good reason to start taking this apart and dissecting it carefully is when you get to rotten stuff, you just start ripping everything apart. Then you're ripping apart this, that, this. We're trying not to rebuild the whole house. We're trying to just cosmetically make a deck here with a railing, and you don't want to introduce any leaks into the floor. It wasn't leaking before, surprisingly enough, so let's keep it that way. What I am going to do is replace this plywood here and put some new flashing in the corner, flashing on the edge, sort of like this, to direct the water over top and run down. And I did find a drain right here, so the water does have a place to run out. So I'm gonna see if I can find some. This edging here is just like a rubber stick on. I'm gonna just sort of start a little bit higher here and overlap that. Put some new flashing up. Put a new 2x6 down here. And put some rubber down here and some flashing on the edges to direct the water out and all the way around here. And then build a railing with some lattice in the middle. So when you're taking stuff apart, be careful, because you don't want to rip out everything, because this is holding up this, which is holding up that. So you gotta be careful. Take your time. Okay, I had a feeling that it was gonna be a little bit rough underneath here, but I can't put a railing on top of this. It's rotted out. And that's what everybody's been doing. It's just building on top of building on top. So it's really held together by rotten wood with fresh wood on the outside. So I'm just sort of documenting this too, as to why projects take longer sometimes when you start getting into them. Okay, just brainstorming here, but see how the nails missed the rafter that's sort of made here, and the nails are sort of starting to come out because they're so old. So what I was thinking about doing is getting some plywood and cut it to the same shape here and have it connect the rafters going out to the stud coming up here, and then add some support. So I added a piece of plywood there in a triangle shape, add one there, and then put a stud here to help support the weight, because these nails are barely doing anything. So what I'm trying to do is just prolong. It's got a fairly new roof on it, and all these nails through here there's nothing holding this roof on really. So I think it'd be a good idea to add some plywood there while we got this open, and it would just help keep the roof from disintegrating one day. That's my thoughts. And you see this here too? Nothing holding this on here. I was gonna take a 4-inch strip of cedar or something on the outside here and put it straight through into the 2x4 over here, just to sandwich these shingles in, just so they don't fall off. Look at this. They're just sort of sitting here, right? There's nothing holding this first row on. And if I start adding nails through the shingles, they're going to start cracking. So unless we're going to replace all these shingles, I think a 4-inch strip of cedar along here, and just sandwich the shingles in there, and that way, being cedar, the water will just run off it too. That's my thoughts on this one. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, so I have a plan here now, and I'm going to do this side, and then I'll move all this junk out and do that side. This is just another example of why I want to do that. This is supposed to be a 2x4 that goes over to here to help hold the trusses up here with your roof. But this is not attached to anything, so it's just doing nothing. So this is the wood they put on, 3/8, quarter inch plywood. And that plywood, they managed to get a few nails. I had 12 nails, there's screws in this one to hold it down to here. Everything else was attached to this. So all this under here is rotten. So if I would have added another railing up here, a foot tall, I think I always would have let go, and then everybody points a finger at me. So if I do it, my choice is to take it down to there, add a few more studs in, maybe even a 4x4 corner post and some big lag bolts, and let's do this right. Maybe even put a new floor down here, like a water membrane too, and some new composite deck boards. And I like to space them apart about 1/2 inch. The ones here were so close together that everything gets in there and doesn't come out. But I like the idea of having removable panels, so that you can remove the panels in the spring, lift them up and clean up underneath here, and then just put them back down. It's a great idea. There's another example here. These nails have let go and they were all rust, and the wood rots away around it. That's loose. And then this one over here is loose too. There's nothing really holding it in. So, start bracing it together. I gotta go get supplies. I'm gonna vacuum this stuff out. It's 1/2 inch deep of rotten wood and garbage and stuff underneath there. This part here is rotten. I'm gonna put a 2x4 on the side here, or one on this side, and screw it through this way, and then I'll put another one on this side and sort of sandwich this one in the middle, and put it down to here. So that will help support this one that's rotten away. I can't really tie it into here, but this is really resting on these anyways. And then I'm also going to put a couple supports that go down there and attach to this plywood, and then add another 2x4 on each side there to help disperse the weight a little bit. This is all rotten wood that came out. There's another piece here that was supposed to be holding up. It's just sitting in there doing nothing. Whatever this is here, it's sort of glued down and sticky, and the tin goes underneath there on the edges, and then this goes down, it's glued down, but it's lifting up in some spots, so I might want to redo it. I don't know. And then see how it goes underneath the door there? It's kind of lifting away right there, so it'd probably be nice to redo it. Quick little video. This is what I got going on Wrenches to Renos. There was a railing here at 2 feet, I believe, so, but it has to be up to 4 feet to code, so kids can't jump over it. But when I went to go add the railing, everything underneath is rotten, and that's what holds up the roof. So the roof needs some replacing, so I'm going to add some stuff to the joist. You see that's not hitting the mark, and this part here is falling out. Nothing's holding this up. That's all rotten. So I'm going to add in a bunch of studs and a new 2x10 across the top, and then a little railing with some lattice, and then a new floor on the deck here.